Hello again. I would like today to share with you my adventure of last week. It was a terrible day. Temperatures were in the single digits. I was at work. It was a very slow day. I would have been surprised had more people showed up, but it was a slow day. I took care of things that I had to. Evening finally arrived. It was time to go home. I got into my car. The weather was precipitating. Exactly what? It's hard to know. There was snow, there was sleet. There wasn't any rain. The roads were slick. The car was warm. And I got on the highway. I was staying in the right lane as I normally do, doing no more than 40 miles an hour because that's who I am. When all kinds of red lights showed up, traffic stopped completely. There obviously was some sort of accident ahead of me, and we were forced to exit the highway. Beginning of my adventure. The reason I say the beginning, I'm one of those unusual people who does not mind driving in inclement weather. I like when the roads are basically free, and since my vehicle has four-wheel drive, as long as I go slow, I'm as comfortable and warm as a bug in a rug. When I got off the highway, I didn't know where I was. And that was not a problem. And the reason it was not a problem is because I have a GPS. I plugged in the address and I started to drive. And I have to admit it was easier driving on the highway because the streets were ice covered, snow covered, and I had to lean forward to make sure that I was driving safely. I was excited that I had the GPS because following it made that easy. After about 10 minutes, I suddenly realized where I was. And here's where the adventure really began. Because once I recognized where I was, I also recognized that the GPS was taking me what I would call the long way. And I had a decision to make: follow the GPS or make a turn right here now and go the way that I would have gone had I not needed the GPS. I made a decision to follow the GPS, to go the way I was going to go, to realize that it would take a few extra moments, minutes, but I did it. And I followed the GPS to my destination. And I was really excited and pleased. The GPS had gotten me to my destination as I knew it would. It took probably 10 minutes longer, maybe 20 on the fact that the weather was how it was, but it got me to my destination. I could have gotten there 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes earlier. I would have been tense. I would have been anxious. I would have been uptight. And I would have been stressed looking forward because the streets were glassy and it was very difficult to navigate. And I would have had to do that intensely without taking my eyes for a fraction of a second off the road. Lesson learned. If the GPS is valid and I agree to use the GPS, it's going to get me where I want to go. I could have been stubborn. I thought about being stubborn because I didn't want to give up control. Now, I want to take what I've just shared with you and relate it to a different GPS, the magic protocol. It works 100% of the time. But you have to give up control. And by giving up control, you get what you want. The feedback from the Magic Protocol has been marvelous. But at least 20% of the people are not finding success. Reason? Giving up control is something that's difficult for them. And giving up control when they feel they don't need to, it makes it even more difficult. The question I've been asking these people is, tell me, where are you more likely to become a victim? Being passive or being proactive? The answer invariably is, I'm more likely to be a victim if I am passive. The Magic Protocol requires that you be proactive. It requires that you go through the steps, and the last step is to take the candy and proactively put it in your mouth. And here's the key. The resistance comes from knowing that if I put the candy in my mouth, I will give up control. And I have to trust that at the exact moment that I give up control, I take control back. This is something we need to talk about, and I'm going to follow it through. You'll be hearing more about this from me. Just remember that every single time you use the Magic Protocol appropriately, you will not cheat. And every time you use the Magic Protocol knowing that you won't cheat should make you feel good. And every time you feel good using the Magic Protocol will give you more incentive to do it. And it will feed on itself. And the weight will come off. And that smile is wonderful. Have a wonderful new year. It's 2018. And I hope to see the successes week by week. Take care, all.